Hello everyone. Today I want to try something different from the usual stuff, and specifically I want to tell you about one of the last sessions which I did and in which I actually DM'd. This is let's say a long-term campaign which I'm currently playing with my family and the family of my brother. It has been ongoing, I think, for a little more than 3 years. Started in 2018 and is currently continuing. It was initially started as the module Horde of the Dragon Queen. Then we continued on with the Rise of Tiamat, and then I started to do some homebrew adventures. The party is actually quite a large party, because this, to be true, started as two separate campaigns, so one DM'd by me and the other DM'd by my brother, and then eventually we condensed them into a single one. They started as the players initially, since we only had 2 players in each campaign, the players initially had 2 characters each, and plus there were a couple of 1 or 2 NPC. Eventually, we joined the 2 campaigns. My brother decided to step down as a DM and instead to play, and so now we had a campaign with 10 characters, which for a while worked. But then when eventually the characters became too high level, especially around the end of Rise of Tiamat, we decided that it was not okay to continue in this way. So we kept the all the adventures together, but we usually manage to have adventures with just 5 of them. Now, the adventurers are currently now trying to stop a threat which could mean the end of the whole world as they know it. The idea is that this series of adventures should bring the campaign to an end as the characters progress towards the 20th level, and when they actually are going to reach the 20th level, what's going to happen is that we will have the final encounter with the final enemy. In order to do so, what they have to do, they first have to recover a series of legendary items. They have recovered already some of them, but they still need to recover a few more. I know that this sounds very similar to some ideas which went from Critical Role, and I can't say that I didn't copy the idea from them. I don't remember that I was thinking about the idea of the vestiges of the divergence from the first campaign of Critical Role. I don't remember what I was thinking when I came up with this idea. Anyway, they are now more or less at half. They are 70th level, so they when they still have 2 or 3 levels to go, and then they are going to complete the campaign. What are their characters now? Okay, there is a paladin, a human paladin named Olga, who actually was once a gold dragon of Tiamat, but which was reduced to be a simple human, sorry, not of Tiamat, of Bahamut, which was reduced to be a simple human due to the fact that of what he did. And then there is a high elf wizard by name of Naivara. Then there is a gnome rogue assassin by name of Orin. Then there is a priest of life, cleric of life gnome, which is Architimber, which is actually who started as an NPC. He's actually from the Sunless Citadel. If you have ever played that adventure, you will remember Architimbers for sure. Anyway, we decided that it was going to become a PC once my brother joined the campaign. Then we have Varys, who is a Wood Elf ranger. Then we have Liam, who is a monk of the Way of the Open Hand. And who else? Quiva. She is a druid of the Circle of the Forest. Apollo is a tiefling bard. Loki is a rogue warlock dark elf. And who else? I think I mentioned everyone. Oh, of course, and then there is Balazar, who is a red dragonborn barbarian. And I think that should be everyone in the game. So what was this last adventure? If you have now let me do some spoilers on Horde of the Dragon Queen. So if you don't have played that adventure and you plan to actually play that adventure, I suggest that you skip this part or you don't watch this part. If you play that adventure, at some point you are going, mostly in the beginning, you are going to find the eggs of some eggs of a black dragon. 3 eggs to be precise. Now you can decide to destroy them, you can decide to keep them, you can decide to sell them, you can do whatever you want. After all, it is at the end, there is not very much around them. They are going to come again in Rise of Tiamat, but to be fair, they don't have so much relevance. I decided that since one of the characters of one of the NPC of that adventure of that module was Redsmere, and the Redsmere was an half black dragon of the House Orogoth, I decided that it made perfect sense that those eggs belonged to House Orogoth. Now, my adventurers decided to keep those eggs, even though they didn't do anything with that for a very long time. So it sounded perfectly sensible, perfectly normal that House Orogoth tried to recover them. First they tried to intimidate the characters, then they tried to kidnap some of the peasants of the Xonthal village, where the character established their base in order to blackmail them into giving back the eggs. They tried various tactics, but so far none of them worked because none of them worked. So I decided that since these are eggs, at some point there was the mother of the eggs who actually tried to convince the players to give the eggs back. Also because she didn't want to have any more to do with House Orogoth, because the house was ruled by a dragon lich, and I decided that this dragon lich was becoming extremely paranoid, extremely suspicious of everyone, and she didn't want to have anything to do with them anymore. So she made a bargain with them. She offered to provide the information about one of the relics which they were looking for, which conveniently happened to have been in the treasury hoard of their house for quite a long time, until it was stolen by some riders. So she provided this information, and in exchange for the eggs. there were a couple of points, however. Of course, she was doing this behind the back of House Orogoth, so someone tried to kill her, but thankfully the adventurers were there and went to her rescue. The other point was that when she presented herself to the adventurers, she was not in a dragon form but in human form, and this was because essentially as a punishment for her continuous rebellion and her not wanting to submit to the head of the house, she had been polymorphed in a human. And due to how since this was a true polymorph spell, she was going to remain human as long as she was until the spell was actually dispelled. So that was the general idea, essentially. And yeah, and this was the adventure. Now there are a couple of things, of course. The first one for the next adventure is that they are going to go towards to see if they can rescue these relics, but they have also received a message from Waterdeep, and the message says that they are urgently summoned to Waterdeep because there are matters of security which require their attention. And if you are going to play Rise of Tiamat, you will know that the adventurers have been quite involved in Waterdeep and in what was going to happen. So I will try to keep you posted on what is going to happen. It is also a way for me to make an online summary of what happened. So this was it, and hope that anyone will find this interesting, and if so, will leave a like. Have a good night.